All right, I have been busy with actually playing Stygian Onslaught for the past couple of days and haven't had the chance to look at the disaster, the drama that it has brought up. And then suddenly, this video popped up. So we'll see what Mr. Brandon Online is so disappointed about. And I've cleared Dire up until the 4-star skin, so I feel like I have a bit of say in this. Is that Markiplier? No, it's not Markiplier.
I am so disappointed. It is unbelievable. If you're not aware, Genshin Impact just released the Stygian Onslaught endgame content, and I really need to get this off my chest because I feel like I'm going kind of insane. So in Genshin Impact, we've had multiple types of endgame over the past few years. We've had the Spiral Abyss, which is basically just fighting against hyperinflated HP overworld enemies in a timer. We've had Imaginarium Theater, which makes sure that you have a lot of characters built and then puts you in situations where you have to fight against hyperinflated HP enemies against the timer.
It's literally the same.
Buffs here and there. Now we have Stygian Onslaught, which I really expected to be something a little bit different. Obviously, I expected a timer. I expected it to be a longer timer, and I expected the enemies to have like super fun mechanics and stuff and different things, kind of like the cubes in that one event where they did so many different movesets and stuff. And instead, what we got is basically Spiral Abyss with only bosses and a absolute boatload of HP and a really short timer. Now, I'm going to show you a few clips of me.
To be fair, I feel like if you have seen the leagues, you already know how bad it is. I feel like, here's a hot take, right? Here's a hot take. I feel like expecting something positive from Hoyoverse is kind of out of the question when it's related to the game anyways, right? Lore-wise, story-wise, whatever. I'm not the person for that, right? But like when it comes to the game, when was the last time something positive got added, right? If they really wanted artifact loadouts, we would have had artifact loadouts. The entire purpose of artifact loadouts is that they don't want to make your process of unequipping and equipping loadouts to be easy. People that do Abyss or like switch artifacts a lot will know this. How many times have you said to yourself, I'm so tired of switching artifacts, I'm just going to farm another set, right? And that's like the entire purpose of not having artifact loadouts, is so that you can't just switch sets that easily. It's to artificially make you grind for your artifacts again so that they can artificially extend the playtime of the game, right? It's because they don't want to make it easy for you so that you, the player, will have to farm for another set of artifacts if you want the convenience.
Playing this for the first time from the easier difficulties, I started off at hard difficulty. So this is what hard difficulty looks like. This is piss easy. All right, let's see.
Hard? I think hard was pretty okay. Hard is okay. Is that a C6 Arlecchino? Hard is okay.
All right, let's just get through this hard mode and then we'll check out the actual difficult stuff, I guess. Let me take a look.
Target acquired.
Hard is way too easy. Well, easy. If you farm normally, it would be easy.
Alrighty then.
Suffer the wrath of Eve. Manifest. Cryo incarnate. Merciless.
Okay. He has all the right characters.
All right, there we go. So far was not very fun, but that's just because it was very easy, right? Then there's the menacing difficulty. This should be all right. We'll see.
Menacing is slightly harder. Menacing is slightly harder. Not slightly. It's like medium harder. Because look at him. The timer's almost running out, right?
Okay. Wait a minute. I know I'm not going to have a ton of time on these ones, but that's kind of the point, right? I'm trying not to use the C6 characters. Just try to do it in time. Bro, I really want Zhangling's fucking shit to proc. Holy fuck, did I take... Oh, maybe I took all of her artifacts off. That actually might be the case. Oh, no. We're going to have to restart this
honestly,
one, boys.
Artifacts on Xiangling doesn't really increase her damage. You just want the pyro application.
Oh, I give... Bro, this makes so much more sense, man. This makes so much more fucking sense. I gave the Dedea for the trial yesterday, dude. 20 seconds left. I'm stuck. I'm stuck in a freaking
doable.
corner.
Menacing, this is menacing, right? Menacing.
Oh, well, we're good.
Menacing's not too bad. Menacing's not too bad.
Wait, where'd my ult go? There it is.
All right, let's see Fearless.
That's fine.
Let's
Good
see
damage.
Fearless.
Very nice
one more
damage.
boss.
Yeah, we should be absolutely fine here. Charge attack to get the extra rifts.
Oh, Skirt's good. This is like the same level as my Skirt.
Yeah, we don't really need it, but we'll do it anyway. It's fun.
All right, let's see Fearless. Let's see Fearless.
Boom. All right, nice. Bad artifact. Bad artifact.
Fearless should be interesting. Fearless should be
All right,
interesting.
Gamers, nothing is changing. Great. Then we have Fearless, and I'll keep it a bot, dude. Fearless was like...
I'm just gonna guess. Third boss is relatively easy. First boss is kind of tough. And the middle boss depends on your Kanish. The middle boss entirely depends on how much pyro you can apply and how much damage your Kanish does.
It was already pretty damn difficult for me, and I have C6 characters. I didn't use the C6 characters that I have, just as a heads up. I tried specifically using the C0 or C2 maximum characters that I have. And this is what that went like.
All right, let's see.
Where'd my ult go? It went off. What?
You can't break the shield. It's gonna go boom.
Why didn't you plunge?
Because reactions...
Is that normal mechanic or is that new? New?
Because reactions doesn't really break the
guys,
shield.
Garming does not clear this. Even a good fucking Garming build, that does not clear this. Holy shit.
No.
The damage is just non-existent.
You need pure damage. The shield only gets damage from pure damage. But even then, it's like, good luck.
Okay,
good luck defeating those.
Fast hand, man.
Yeah. You need fast. You can maybe clear this. He needs to defeat the other one.
Pissing me off. Hello?
It's gonna suck the HP if you don't. Okay, they can clear it. Easy. Easy peasy.
All right, there we go.
Good job, good job. Nice.
First half done. Doable, winnable. Without my C6s, though, I'm kind of screwed for the second half here because I overbuilt my C6s and not so much the other fucking characters. So let me see. Let's go. Let's see if y'all can fucking cook.
That team looks good, but... Okay, no, actually, they might not be able to clear this.
Guys, I'm not even
This
fucking
one's hard.
entertaining this shit. What the fuck is going on? Hello? I'm not even entertaining this for more than 5 fucking seconds.
Ooh. Who's doing the damage here? Nahida?
This is
Al-Haytham?
doable, though, I think. Deadass, I think this might actually be doable. Brian, bro, I'm listening to chat, man. What the fuck do you want from me?
Oh, I don't think they have enough time.
Bro,
no, not enough time.
Saying this wouldn't work. We're doing about as good as the fucking Al-Haytham team.
This boss, you basically have to clear like 60% of its HP.
Each team because we use
at like 1 minute
in this one as well. If we try this one again without Bennett, I probably could. But then who am I going to replace in this one? Fuck it, we can try this.
Okay. Okay, still clear. Their Arlangino's pretty good. Someone says C2 Arlangino. Is it actually?
Come on!
No, they can do it. You have enough time. Let's go. Oh, Infusion ran out. Oh my god, just in time.
There was a second left!
Oh.
Alright, I'm ulting here. Conditional ult.
Do it. Do it.
On the life reset as
Good
well.
job.
There we go. Okay.
Very nice.
Good shit. I like what I'm feeling here.
Last boss is actually kind of difficult. The shield, for some reason, gets tougher and tougher. It might require like more HP to break or something like that. But I couldn't clear it with my Yilan. I needed another cryo. Ooh, is that a C2 skirt?
I feel better now. Let's go back and fucking lose our fucking
Is that C2
brain cells
skirt
and
or
minds. Oh
what is
my
that?
God.
That damage looks like a C2 skirt.
Yeah, I'm good. Let's fucking get this shit done, and then I want to try the final difficulty.
Okay, good job. All right, nice. That is fearless.
Give me my terrible artifacts.
That is fearless. Let's see Dire. Let's see Dire.
My terrible artifact. Sorry. Then we have the final difficulty, dire difficulty. And this is where my biggest problem comes because Hoyoverse have implemented a lot of really good changes recently, in my opinion. But this endgame mode is genuinely...
Okay, I have a comment to make. What great changes has Hoyoverse exactly implemented gameplay-wise? I'm trying to think of a single one. Loadouts was the biggest one I could think of, and it's not exactly that great. Birthday searching? Artifact potions getting 2 guaranteed rolls, feathers in general. That's true. That's true. That's added to the game. The artifact rerolls. I completely forgot about that. But they are locked behind like a really, really long gates, right? They did add the artifact transmuter. It's a good change. It's a long ass cooldown, but it's a good change, I guess. You have more control over the RNG of your artifacts every like half a year or so. Because most people use it to create like a circlet, a goblet, or sands, right? Nobody uses it on like a plume or a flower. I don't think that's a ton of good changes. That's one. And then the feathers that came with Stygian Onslaught. That's the other one. That's 2. What's the other allot? What's the allot? You could filter your crafting menu now, which is good, but like I wouldn't say it's the greatest change in the world. What quality of life change I would like to see is being able to farm any talent books on any day. Given that the game is out for almost 5 years, I think that's a reasonable quality of life change. The loadout left like a really bad taste in my mouth. Like just knowing the fact that they will not revert that change. Otherwise, they would have changed it by now. Otherwise, the second iteration, the most recent one we just had with artifact loadouts, we would have actually had artifact loadouts. But now we know they will not do that. Like the first time around, it's like, okay, fine. Maybe the communication wasn't enough. Second time around, and it's still like that. Hey, listen, you only get one pass.
Just disappointing to see, at least in my opinion. Now, listen, there's people that have cleared this dire difficulty, or at least like one person, a Japanese player, with C0 or 1 characters. But their builds are absolutely insane. Godlike.
Yeah, insane.
Like, I'm talking.
Yeah, insane. And also, like, the RNG factors in, right? Like, your crits, how many times you crit, how often you crit, how good your artifacts are, what constellations your supports are, how good your supports are. All those factors in. Those are not something that you can control by playing, right?
In perfect artifacts. And they cleared it with like 1 second to spare on each one. For like 99.9% of free-to-play or even low spenders, this difficulty is almost unattainable. Even for whales, dude. Like, I went into this and I would have been perfectly fine if these bosses had a lot of really cool gimmicks and mechanics that you could do with the elemental reactions and stuff. But instead, what we get is a restrictive buff/debuff. But it's not
fearless.
for cool things
105
like
is fearless.
Mechanics. I had a chat with Comemos where I went
Dire
over what mechanics
is
and stuff
110.
I'd want to see. Just a couple of examples. So here's the clip from that. Hello, hello. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Fucking stressed, bro.
Yeah, I know.
What did you mean by you think Genshin's got a limit because of the gameplay? Just out of curiosity.
Okay, so like, I mean, of course, I have to take some examples like Withering Waves or ZZ or stuff like that. Like, there's no other option. I don't know, like, there's no parry system. There's no real, like, dodge system. The monsters are not, like, super dynamic. Maybe they could make more dynamic monsters, like, that move a little bit or that have, like, more dynamic mechanics. I don't have, like, an idea necessarily of what they could do, but...
The thing is, right, at the end of the day, this is a gacha game. Constellations on characters is always something that's gonna be like a factor, I feel like, right? If you're gonna do like end game modes. Now, I'm not saying gacha game mechanics are allowed because it's a gacha game. Because I feel like a lot of people say that. It's a gacha game. What do you expect? This mechanic exists because it's a gacha game. You can't defend a bad design just because it's a gacha game, right? Oh, just because it's a gacha game, it's allowed to do this, right? Just because it's a gacha game, it's fine for them to lock damage behind essentially paywalls, right? Realistically speaking, paywalls. Or you could play for 2 years and get all the constellations for that single character, but by then that character is essentially out of date for the current content. So now you move on to the next best character, right? Is it normal for a gacha game to do that? Sure. Is it fair is the question. I think the Genshin community or the gacha community always downplay that. Oh, you're playing a gacha game. You walked into it knowing the consequences. What do you have to complain about? It's a free-to-play game. Free-to-play means nothing these days. Free-to-play means nothing because at the end of the day, it's all about the revenue for the game, right? Sure, the entry of barrier is lower than like pay-to-play games, but at the end of the day, it's the revenue that matters the most, right? How much it earns. It's not like a free-to-play game generates less revenue. It's ironically the opposite. A free-to-play gacha game generates some of the highest revenues on this planet. You can see that from like statistics, right? All right, let's see. Honor of Kings, 18 billion. I'm pretty sure that's a MOBA, right? That's a MOBA. Which one of these are gacha games? Does anybody know? Genshin Impact, 6 billion. These might actually be lower than what it actually is because this is only like from like public information, right? Public data. You don't know like cross-platform stuff, right? FGO, 7 billion. Come on. I'm pretty sure this is per year, is it not? You're telling me Genshin Impact makes $6 billion and there's people going, oh, poor company, they have to make money too. Be realistic. You shouldn't need a C6 to clear any content in the game. Maybe that's the solution. Yeah, that's the issue, right? That's the thing. They dug themselves into a hole where the audience the free-to-play audience is a bunch of fucking whiny little shits, and the paying audience is also a bunch of whiny little shits. Both the whales and the free-to-play are a bunch of whiny little shits. The free-to-play players asking for more rewards, the whales asking for more content, and you can't satisfy one side without pissing the other side off. If they add like a reward for the whales to obtain that requires their C6 characters, of course they'd be happy. You know, oh shit, finally some hard content for me to clear with my C6 R5 character. Wow, the free-to-play. Why did the whales get rewards for playing this game? Where's my rewards? Where's my rewards? Why can't I get that reward, huh? Are we not the same? Are we not players of this game, huh? And then if you make content too casual, like putting Mario Kart, like basically just doing events in the game, whales are like, how am I supposed to use my C6 R5 character? Where am I supposed to use my C6 R5 character? I'm quitting this game. There's nothing to do, right? So now they added Stygian Onslaught, which gives them essentially a time skin. It's so fucking stupid. A time skin for the whales to clear content with their C6 R5, basically just to brag. And it doesn't affect the free-to-play players because, like, realistically, it's not a real reward. But to be fair, some free-to-play players are still pissed. Oh my god, it's a skin that I can't obtain. I can't obtain. Have you learned nothing? Have you learned nothing from that one event? Where you learned nothing from that one event with the name tag? Have you not learned? Have you not learned, however, you fucking dumb fucks? And now you pissed off both audiences. Most whales aren't happy with a time-limited skin. Most free-to-play players aren't happy with a skin that they can't obtain. So now you fucking pissed off both audiences. It's fucking amazing how you could do that. What are we talking about again?
I don't know, if you look at Wuwa, they have some, I mean, the parry system makes it more dynamic, but they also have some monsters where if you counterattack at the perfect moment, not necessarily a parry, but just a counterattack or a dodge at the perfect moment, it can impact like the reactions of the boss or stuff.
The thing is, you don't know what they're gonna do to Wuthering Waves. What stops Wuthering Waves from doing the same as Genshin Impact? Because after all, getting what are they called again? What's the constellations called in Wuthering Waves again? I know I played Wuthering Waves for a bit, but wait, they're Eidolons? I thought Eidolons was HSR. Resonance. Oh, it's called Resonance. Okay, Resonance. I have a question. Raise my hand. I'm raising my hand. Is Wuthering Waves hardest content still the diagrams? Holograms? Oh, the holograms. My bad. Wait, what's the hardest content then? Is it Whimpering Waves or whatever? It's the new game mode? What stops Wuthering Waves from copying Genshin Impact exactly? Where they add a time limited skin to a difficulty that no matter how much you parry, no matter how good your echoes are, no matter how skilled you are, you cannot make up for the damage loss of not having 6 resonance. You could do the perfect combo, your echo could be at peak, but you just can't do 30% more damage without more resonance. If they keep having bad financial months, it's gonna happen. Probably because people will review bomb Wuthering Waves. This happened once. They changed the hard mode to easy in like an hour. God damn, they folded fast.
Like that, so
yeah.
Yes, they could make something like that, but on the other hand, like the characters are more or stiffer than ZZ or than Wuwa's. Like, yes, it's frustrating to just have like more HP, but at the same time, it's like a little bit difficult to find the perfect solution, I feel like.
I agree with you, and I don't think that is a perfect solution. But what I will say is, you're right with Wuwa. The thing is with Wuwa, for something like holograms, for example, I'm going to use holograms specifically since it's like the end game that I typically take part in. I don't do tower because it's just fucking Spiral Abyss for me, to be honest.
Yeah.
For holograms, it's very important to do the mechanics that you just mentioned, right? Like parrying and also dodging. And you mentioned Genshin not having a dodge system. You're right. It has the same dodge system as Wuwa, realistically, just without the perfect dodge and the counter.
Yeah.
The thing for me is, for hologram, the timer's so fucking long. I've never lost a hologram to the timer. I feel like for Genshin as well, it's like you mentioned them being kind of limited based on Genshin's gameplay. For me, it's the total fucking opposite. I think they don't utilize their own gameplay features at all for endgame combat because
they can't, right? Because they can't. Because the entire purpose of Stygian Onslaught is to have something for the whales. Why? Because it's a gacha game at the end of the day. Because if you make it too easy, that it's not for whales, right? It's not for whales because free-to-play players can clear it. If everyone can clear it, it's not for whales. But now people are complaining that only whales can clear it. So you can't satisfy everyone. I think their solution is the best one. Doesn't matter if you agree with it or not. It's like, do you need the weapon skin? No, it's just for showing off, right? It's just for showing off. It's not like a reward. You can't pull characters with it. It doesn't affect your primo gems. All the meaningful rewards that you get is before that, right? Like Fearless. Fearless, doable. If you have C6 R1 or like C0 R1 and you can't be Fearless, it's genuinely probably an artifact issue and you need to grind artifacts. A game made for everyone is a game made for no one. Exactly. And I feel like they do that. I feel like they do that a lot though, because they're trying to satisfy the whales and the free-to-plays, and they just end up pissing everyone off. Because they cannot realistically, yes, the reaction system or the elemental system in the game exists, but they can't make a challenge that depends on that, because that would disregard the constellations, right? Because then why would whales need constellations if reactions are the only thing that they need, right? If the reactions are the only thing that they need, C0 is sufficient, right? Even 4-star characters might be enough. No need for 5-star characters if you have the correct elements. Fuck it. But because it's designed for whales, or that's what they wanted to do, constellations has to be a factor.
Literally, what do you use elemental reactions for other than dealing damage or like getting rid of a specific shield? Why is there zero mechanics in this goddamn game with such a complex elemental reaction combat system where you can't ever utilize it so it feels like you're utilizing the element system other than just dealing a shit ton of damage?
I understand.
Because that's the hole they dug themselves in. Everything is timed. Every challenge in this game is timed. If it's not timed, then there's no point of constellations. Because what are constellations? Realistically, what is a character's constellation? A damage boost. So how do you make content that certain characters can clear and certain characters cannot clear just based on constellations? You add a timer to it. You add a time to it. So if you can't deal enough damage during that time, you fail. The entire thing stems from the fact that it's a gacha game and there's no fixing it other than making it a not gacha game, which cannot be done.
What do you mean? Like we could use the reactions more to like actually do stuff rather than just more damage.
If you're gonna make it restrictive, why not make it fun and restrictive? Remove the timer, make it so that at every 20% health interval you get a different mechanic. If you're already forced to use, for example, a freeze team, make it so for example, it's a boss with, I don't know, 2 big ass legs.
How would constellations come into play? Because the entire point of this is for whales to utilize their constellations, right? You can't make content that have no time limit, because that would invalidate constellations, right? There's no winning here. You just lose.
You gotta freeze both legs on the ground to stop it from moving at a certain point in the floor, and then that point in the floor starts doing damage over time or something. You know, something interesting.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah, that could be fun. Maybe a little bit like the weekly bosses, because like weekly bosses have some like interesting.
I don't think Mr. Brandon Online understands the purpose of this design. HSR has a whale div, but all the enemies have big fat HP and big fat damage. The thing is with HSR, it's not time gated. It's turn gated, right? Essentially the same thing. Your characters has to do a certain amount of damage for you to clear a certain piece of content, right? Icon, what would be your solution be for fixing it? Listen, it's $1 billion company. They're supposed to come up with the solutions, not me. You know what I hate? When people ask me for solutions for $1 billion company's implementation. What are we paying them for? Aren't they the ones supposed to come up with solutions? But the simplest one is for it not to be a gacha, because then you could do whatever system design you want and it doesn't have to be tied to pulling characters or constellations or pulling for weapons or artifact grinding your RNG off or resin system, all that stuff that is tied to it just being a gacha game, right?
Mechanic, I mean, interesting. Depends how you see it, but like they have some unique mechanics where other stuff happens.
Time limited content won't work,
or break the shield.
I feel like Genshin just do not utilize their elemental reaction system for endgame in the slightest, other than
because you can't. Because elemental reaction systems are not constellation locked. You can literally have all 4-star characters and be able to clear it. If you are basing it off of just reactions, it's not possible. It's not possible. You made it a gacha game. You made a constellation. You have to make the people that actually pull for the constellations happy. That's how it is. That's how it is. That's how it goes. That's how the cookie crumbles.
Like I say, hyperinflating enemy HP to make you have to deal a shit ton more damage. It just bores the fuck out of me when I know it could be so much better than it is. But sadly, that's just not the case here. It's quite literally, again, just hyperinflated overworld enemies. Bob, you can find the actual numbers, but I think it's like 17 million HP or something, maybe even more. And the reward that you get for this incredibly difficult challenge is weapon skins. Something that when I saw were getting added to the game, I was incredibly excited. But the rewarded weapon skins that you get come from these items. There's a 4-star and a 5-star version of these weapon skins. And don't get me wrong, listen, I'll keep it a buck here. The weapon skins look absolutely incredible. They also have very cool lore inside of them. But you know,
okay, I don't know about that one. I don't just a weapon skin description. I mean, it's part of the lore, but I don't not a lore enjoy over here.
What's not incredible? The fact that they disappear every patch. You heard?
Right. And you know why? I've explained why that exists, right? The 41-day limit. You know why it's time limited? Because the free-to-play players would be really pissed if it was not. Remember the name card events where you require some built characters to get the name card, and some people couldn't clear it, and they were pissed. This way, Hoyoverse can win both ways. They can basically say, oh, it doesn't matter. The skin expires in 41 days anyways. So anybody that couldn't get it, doesn't matter. It doesn't affect your accounts. It won't stay on your accounts. It expires anyways, right? That's number one. Number two, nothing stops them from creating bosses that have more HP than what we currently have. And you know what would be able to clear the bosses with more HP to get you the skin? New Constellation 6 characters that deals even more damage than the ones we currently have. And so the whales will have to pull for those characters instead of being satisfied with the characters that they currently have. You know what? From a company point of view, this is absolutely genius. I would give a raise to whoever designed this. Low-key. I'm not even being sarcastic. This is some of the greatest exploitation of customers I have ever seen. It is so good. Some Giga Whales want D7. They can gobble on D's nuts.
That's right. The really difficult content that you get, the weapon skins, disappear every patch. A lot of people don't have a problem with this, but for me, when Genshin Impact already has endgame rewards that are attainable in a certain way for cosmetic purposes, the envisaged echoes in the Imaginarium Theater, for a big example, what do you do with that? You beat the endgame, you get a key or 2 keys. Then you get to choose which envisaged echo you want to keep on your account forever. You unlock it and do it. It's great. Why couldn't Hoyoverse for this just made it so that when you beat this mode, you get these items, but you can exchange them for whatever skin you want permanently?
Because it's exactly what I just said. It's a business decision and they are rolling in dough. Not from a player point of view. Player point of view, absolute ass. Business point of view. Woo! God damn, it's so easy to make money. All of you can learn from this. You're about to see this in Wuthering Waves in the next 2 months.
On your account. I had people saying if they'd have done that, it would have caused FOMO. I would argue it's the exact opposite, and that making these weapons only available for 41 days and then they're gone forever is also FOMO, but it's also pointless FOMO, because why would they disappear? Why wouldn't you just be able to keep them? It feels so stupid to waste the potential of these super awesome looking skins and have them disappear. Is it because you're not spending real money on it that they feel like you don't deserve to keep them? I really don't understand. I know it's like a prestige,
listen to my explanation,
you beat it kind of thing, but then if you can only show that you beat it for 41 days or whatever it is, and then it's gone forever, what's the damn point? I think it's so incredibly disappointing.
I mean,
and I really
from
hope
a player point of view, that's what you think, right?
Because I really think this game mode has a lot of potential. It just needs a couple of minor tweaks and maybe one major tweak.
I'm just gonna say it's not gonna get tweaked,
and I want it to still be challenging, but I also just want it to be fun and not boring and monotonous and not the same thing as the other end games that we already have in the goddamn game. Give us something new to look forward to every patch. This was a big rant, and I really don't know if we're going to get any fixes or changes to this in the future. I'm not getting my hopes up anymore. I don't play gacha games for the end game, and this is primarily the reason why. I've kind of decided now if I want difficult content, bro, I'm just going to go play MMOs or like Elden Ring for the third time.
MMOs are not difficult. I'll tell you that much. MMOs are not difficult. It's more like a time sink. It's not now. Elden Ring is as difficult as you want to make it. There are some builds in Elden Ring that one-shots bosses, I am pretty sure. I'm pretty sure some builds in Elden Ring are absolutely bonkers broken. But then again, you're forgetting that MMOs and Elden Rings are not gacha games. They don't have constellations. They might have constellation equivalents, but you're not spending money as a customer to get those features, right? You can get them through playing the game. In MMOs, usually there's trading system. If you are a good trader in MMOs, you arguably make more money in game than people that pay to win.
Time or something. Anyway, like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you subscribe, actually.
Make sure you subscribe to me
to 354,000 subs on YouTube. Thank you. And I'll catch you all in the next one.
Nah, it won't change. It won't change. You guys, it won't change. They have different bosses. Some bosses might be easier than the others in the rotation. Like, I think for the leaks for the next rotation, we're gonna get some easier bosses for the guy, I think. I saw less HP, so that's a good sign, right? That's a good sign. He didn't mention Constellation a single time, which is the biggest factor, right? Delete the timers, add a ranking with the best times, people will complain less. I guarantee you that would piss everyone off. That would piss all the free-to-plays off. They would argue, dude. They would say this is pay to win. Do not add a ranking. That is like basically unintended PvP.